Hello, my wonderful friends, and welcome to my flipped classroom. We're going to talk about analogies, and that's complete analogy number 4. Today we're targeting 11 through 25. So let's pay attention. We are talking about chords. Let me just show you here. Chords and music. So chords are to music as what is to surgery. I would say this is the type of analogy that you need to know one thing in order to be able to perform that other thing. So you need to know the chords in order to be able to perform music, to play music. You need to know anatomy in order to be able to perform surgery. Number 12. Let's think first what type of analogy this is. So, thicket and forest. Thicket is to forest as what is to a lake. Thicket is a type of a forest, right? So, or thicket is extremely similar to a forest. And what out of those words is similar to a lake? And of course, if you have answered the word pen, this is what is similar to a lake. Let's move to number 13, evidence. So, what type of analogy is that? Who collects what? So, truffle. If you do not know the word, please Google it, because you need to know your vocab in order to be able to do the analogies. Swine collects truffle. And who collects evidence out of those people, out of those choices? Detectives. Detectives collect evidence. Let's move on to number 14. What type of analogy is that? All right, so that person, whatever the person is, works in that particular place. So where does the scientist work? Scientist works in laboratory. And who works on stage? If you answered actor, you are absolutely correct. The word actor is correct. Let's move on to number 15. Slothful. And if you do not know your vocab, please Google it, because you will never be able to understand your analogies unless you know all the words. So, slothful means someone who lacks or someone who does not have enough energy to produce movement. So, without energy or power. And over here, you are looking, so the type of analogy is to lack or to be without or to be deprived of. So slothful, deprived of movement. And if you are deprived of principles, you don't have any principles, then you are called, if you chose immoral person, you are absolutely correct. Immoral person is usually a type of person that is deprived of any principles. I agree. Number 16. Let's have a look first. Something is to speak, as meander as to walk. Okay, wonderful. So, as I said, as long as you know your vocab, as you know your words, you are probably able to put them together and complete your analogy. Meander is a type of walk when it's taking you much longer. You're not going straight. It's almost like a zigzag. So when you speak, you usually want to perform an act of communication of information. But then sometimes you just want to prattle. Prattle means to speak often without a particular goal, very lengthy and quite often in a very foolish manner. So prattle is to speak as meander is to walk. So I would say it's a type of analogy that something is taking much longer than it's supposed to take, or a necessary movement, a necessary conversation. All right, number 17, let's have a look at it. Epilogue is to a story as something else is to dinner. All right, so I would suggest that this is a type of analogy that you are receiving that particular thing at the end of the other. So this comes at the end of this. At the end of the story, you can get an epilogue. So at the end of dinner, you already ate dinner, what can you get? You don't get salad at the end. You don't get the meal at the end, or the appetizer, dessert. Dessert is what usually comes at the end of a good dinner. Number 18. Number 18 looks like it's a type of a symbol. So something over here would symbolize peace to us, as well as snake usually symbolizes deceit. And of course, dove is the symbol of peace. Number 19. This one is very tricky for ESL students especially, because you'd be so confused if you do not know various types of usage of words. So when we're talking about teeth, in this case, we are not talking about teeth. We're talking about teeth in a comb. No, I'm already giving you the answers, but that's what we're talking about. And the type of analogy is that one thing consists of the other thing. So brush consists of bristle. Bristle, please Google if you do not know your words. Without bristle, there is no brush. Without teeth, I'm not talking about your teeth or my teeth. I'm talking about the teeth on the comb. Without teeth, there is no comb. So your answer is, of course, C is correct. Number 20, a type of, a form of, a shape of. Trowel is a type of a shovel. Shovel, well, you know shovel. It's usually more square or sometimes rounded, but the trowel is usually something that masons use for masonry. So please Google if you do not know how they look. And what is another word for mug? A type of mug, or a different, or you can say that you use it for a different purpose. It's a cup. Of course, it's a cup. So we have 5 more to go, 21. When I look at this type of analogy, I could explain it that you are talking about a device that carries certain things or people. So Carousel, especially in an airport, can carry suitcases, while elevator can carry people. It's an option. It's definitely the correct answer in this particular choices of analogy. 22. A type of beat. Camel is a type of beat, as talk is another word for speak. So a type of analogy is, I would say, synonym, or a form of. 23. This is actually more elaborate vocabulary word that gives you more connotation, that gives you more context. So you can say I eat, or you eat, or we eat, or you can say consume. So consumption is a more higher level of your vocabulary. And then you can say a hug, or to hug, or you can say envelope. It's a more elaborate, connotative context of the same word. Now we have 2 more to go and then we're done. So 24 is talking about, let's have a look, where you keep it. Where can you find it? Where you can find sculpture. You can find sculpture in a museum. And where can you find, or what can you find in a silo? In a silo, you can find grain. If you chose the word grain, that's correct. Number 25 is going to be your last for today. Let's have a look at it. Grind. Grind. Chop. Axe. So what do you do? So what can you do? So I'm talking about the type of analogy. So what can you do? What kind of action can you perform with this object? With an axe, you chop. So you grind with a mill, so to say, or if you want to grind, or a mill usually grinds, as well as axe usually chops. So, alright, once again, I would want you to tell me what types of analogies were used in number 21 through 25, and I will talk to you very soon. I hope you are enjoying our flipped classrooms. Bye-bye.